There has been one rather remarkable improvement in Ruber's performance, getting to his feet. That is the result of magical reasoning, for the body reasons so quickly, so clearly, and so concisely that its deductions and logic are far too fast for the intellect to follow. The body reasons directly. The body's reasoning transforms itself into action, with nothing to stand in between its elegant logic and the logic's brilliant execution. Ruber cannot possibly follow all of the manipulations necessary for the recent improvements to take place. Again, bodily efforts are as magical and creative as the writing of a book or a poem. But Rupert in the past trusted his creative abilities as if they were something he had to guard from his physical self. You were both finally making vital strides in understanding as a result of our last session in particular, and on Rupert's part because of the changed attitudes he has allowed and the changed physical habits, the encouragement of motion, the expanded feeling of identity, which now includes the physical body rather than trying to exclude it. The body is not a tool to do your mental bidding. Your body is a mental expression, physically materialized. More improvements are indeed occurring even now. And as long as Rupert's attitude continues to improve, you can expect such progress. For again, the body is quite capable of healing itself completely and with far greater ease than you give it credit for. Rupert did not have to do anything in particular, for example, of a conscious nature, except to state his intentions. The body's healing mechanisms immediately quickened. This is because he began to take the pressure off, so to speak, and truly began to understand the abilities and limitations of the rational mind in its relationship to the body. You both believed it was quite possible to have clairvoyant dreams, out-of-body experiences, and creative adventures in the arts, but to some extent, both of you doubted that same energy could be directed effectively in the physical realm, so-called of bodily health or situations of the nitty-gritty. Again, the material is indeed dealing with a far more valid explanation for the working ways of reality than the old official beliefs. And again, we're not merely dealing with evocative, creative hypothesis. There is no need then to be surprised if some of your ideas frighten Prentice Hall. I was just going to ask you about that. If our ideas were already accepted in the world, there would be no need for our work. Prentice Hall is, of course, well-intentioned, and under their belief system, it is nearly sacrilegious to be anything more than officially disapproving of medical matters. That is, some disapproval is acceptable. To attack medical corruption, medical errors, or particular clinics, for example, is within bounds. But to attack the belief system of the entire structure is something else again. Their objections should simply show you why our work is so important. You must not forget again that you both chose these challenges. You wanted to be involved with the initiation of new thematic material. You wanted the experience of getting it for yourselves, so to speak. The exhilaration of discovery. As a matter of fact, in case you may think sometime that I am not fully aware of your mores, I did indeed temper many of my remarks and mass events on several subjects so that the book would not be found too objectable in the context of your times. The implications are there, but your belief systems must be allowed to mellow and change in the light of new knowledge rather than be booted aside with an angry foot. End of session, unless you have a question. No, I was just going to ask you about Prentice Hall. That is all I have to say there. They are a mainline publisher, which means their books go to people in all walks of life in libraries, bookstores, and so forth. It is much better that the books compete in such a fashion with other material of your times rather than be published, say, by a specialty house or coddled along the way. We speak to all of those people. Remember the last portion of this session, and your stomach need not bother you. More clearly, you will not need to bother your stomach, for that is the problem's secret. A fond evening. That marks the end of Seth Speaks, the magical approach. And this was our part 12. Let's talk about it. So in this one, Seth is emphasizing the incredible ability of the human body to heal and transform itself when the mind and body work in harmony. He describes the body's reasoning as magical, meaning it operates with speed, it operates with clarity and precision far beyond the intellect's ability to follow. The body does not rely on the intellectual analysis. It acts directly and it acts efficiently, translating its understanding into action seamlessly. Rupert's recent improvements in physical health, such as getting to his feet, what this does is showcase this magical process in action. Seth points out that Rupert doesn't need to micromanage or consciously control his body's healing. Instead, he simply set clear intentions and removed mental pressure. That's all it takes. By trusting his body and embracing physical motion, Rupert began to integrate his physical self into his sense of identity rather than seeing it as separate or inferior. Now, Seth warns against treating the body as a mere tool for the mind. No, instead, he explains that the body is a physical expression of the mind. Healing becomes much easier when we recognize this connection and we stop doubting the body's natural abilities and capabilities. Seth also addresses societal resistance to these ideas, noting that mainstream beliefs like those held by publishers such as Prentice Hall are slow to embrace such holistic perspectives. Challenging the entire medical belief system, for example, often meets resistance because it questions foundational assumptions. However, Seth reminds us that this resistance is a sign of why this work is so important. It's about introducing transformative ideas that can change how we live, that can change how we heal. In closing, Seth encourages trust in the body's wisdom and highlights the exhilaration of discovering these truths for oneself. He advises patience with societal beliefs as change comes through growth and new understanding rather than outright rejection. This is a profound reminder to trust the body's magical reasoning and allow its natural healing mechanisms to thrive without unnecessary interference. If you've enjoyed this reading, please consider giving it a like. Please share it with a friend. And of course, subscribe for more. What did you think about this particular passage? Are you able to allow your body to heal on its own without interference? Please leave it in the comments below. And as always, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I am Tony Victory, a wolf uncaged. Thank you.